Alright. Make sure that we're all good. Yep. Sound is working. Sound is working. Alright, we rock. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm good. I'm just tired. Today has been a very lengthy day, and I wanted to try to finish the story I'm writing, but I have not finished yet. I don't even know what I needed that for. Hey Raven, how are you doing? And who deserves a bigger nerf, Lucius the Eternal or Sons of Rust? And why do you think the Terminus Decree is weak lore currently? I think both of them need nerfs, and I think the Terminus Decree is just awful lore right now because it makes literally no sense, and it was just Games Workshop's attempt to be edgy and failing terribly at it. It was me, Raven. I was the one who voted last minute for you. Well, I appreciate you doing that. I was not a fan of how that turned out, if I'm being honest. I honestly didn't expect to get very far because I didn't think my design for Shiori was as good as some of the others I saw. But when I saw that I was actually winning, I was actually ahead by a point or two, I was honestly like, wow, people really like this one. I thought this is a really good look. And then Wex decided to do a second poll, and I don't know, a party was kind of like, there was no need to do the second poll. I clearly won by a vote. Even without your assistance, I still won by a vote. That to me felt like it should have been a win, but then when we did the second poll, I lost by over half, so I was like, okay. And so I was a little bummed out by that. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bummed out by that because I was very honored and surprised that that Shiori's build was doing so well, and then only for it to be dropped last minute. But that's not her fault. That's no one's fault. That's just how it goes, and that's what I said. Oh, shoot. Hi, guys. What's up? Tell me where she is as I cut you down. Anyway, I'm still waiting for Mara the Reaper. That'll come in time. I heard that you last year 6 pages into Legend. I'm now 9 pages in. So to be fair, your Nobushi sort of did win earlier. Well, I mean, like to me, if it were like, here's the thing. I don't know how she runs these things because it was the first time I've participated. To me, though, when I see a close poll, that means that they're dead even. Like both options were even. So then I would redo the poll with them. But I was winning by 1. Even without your help, I still had the win by at least 1 point. You added another last minute, which was great. I appreciate it. But I don't think there was a need to do a secondary poll. I had the 1 point win. So I don't think that was necessary, but it was what she chose to do, and that's fine. It's well within her right, but I'll admit I was a little bummed by the outcome. I was a little bummed out. Because I thought I had it, and then it was kind of robbed. But it's what it is. It is what it is. These things happen. Honestly, I've never won a competition in my life, so it is nothing new. I'm excited for the new Legend Raven. Yeah. So Raven, you won't believe what I saw yesterday. 60 out in the city. It was awesome. Cool. Cool. What happened today? Just a lot of stuff. Like Bible study. I had to get that done. Then had another meeting. Then we had a D&D session. Then Wextra did her tournament and drip competition. Just a lot of stuff went on. I'm also kind of frustrated because of work. That too has been an issue. And I've been trying to get the dang Shiori story done for the last 2 days now, and I've not been going at the rate I want to go.
死んで数日。政子殿、私です。
お主は堺家の菰田の生き残りはおらぬと聞いていたが、夫は
武明に恥じぬ見事なお働きでしたが、討ち死によ。
さようか。なぜここへ？
叔父上が囚われの身に。手を結びましょう。私は叔父上を、そちらは敵を。
足立家はもう終わりだ。対馬の者が手にかけおった。
裏切り。己を守る侍をなぜ？
それはこれから突き止める。
助太刀いたす。
いらぬ。我らの争いに余計な首を突っ込むな。
対馬の武家は相見たがい。私も残された者の痛みは知っております。
お主まで死んでは申し訳が立たぬ。
死にませぬ。
Anyway, Assassin Hey second. I voted late as well, Riven. It's okay, guys. Don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. Honestly, the best Nobushi won. That's all there is to it. The best Nobushi won. I maybe my drip is not good, but my stories always will be. You know, I put a lot into the stories. Was there a Kyoshin? Yeah, there were a few Kyoshin. One of them even made it to the finals, but didn't. It only got 4 votes.
必死に助けようとしたが、皆死角から逃げきれず道端で切り殺された。姉も孫すらも赤子もいたのだ。まだ生まれたばかりの母と子と私がこの手で埋めたのだ。
あるまじきことです。
姉も亡き夫と共に眠りたいはず。北の地で。なれど今は足立の墓が。
And we follow the leader.
お一人残されるとは。
一人ではない。死角が生きておる。
罪の報いを与えねば。
奴らがのうのうと生きておるなど一族の恥。
御身の咎ではない。
この手で成敗せねば顔向けできぬわ。
I love the voice actress who does Masako. Does a very good job. Anyway, At least he made it to the finals. Yeah, we had a Kyoshin, two Nobushi, and an Orochi make it to the finals. This is my first ever live of Ravens. Just wanted to thank you, Raven, for inspiring me to write my own stories. Hey, Coco, glad you felt inspired. That means a lot to me, honestly. It really does. Anyway, I love how Shiori looks. I do too. I love Shiori. I worked very hard on her, and I'm very excited to share her legend. It is taking a while to get done. And I'm also going to have to apologize because it is a female character and it is narrated by her. My voice will not sound good for that, but I'll do my best. Raven, I think all your heroes are the best drip. My favorite is your Lawbringer, Richard. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Hey, Archie. I'm okay. Just chilling out on Ghost of Tsushima for a bit. Except for more Monster Club tomorrow? I'm excited too. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to get back to reading. I hate that my reading streams get so little attention. I hate it. Raven, every time I listen to one of your legends, I always get reminded how shit my writing is. Don't think of it like that. You cannot think of it like that. What are the reading streams? Every Monday evening, I don't play a game. I just read one of my books on stream. Because I'm a writer. I write stories. And so we are in the middle of reading Monster Club. And the problem is I don't get many people who watch those because most people don't care for the reading streams. I had a good laugh today. I always thought it was a joke, but learned Robute was bested by a piece of paper. Made me laugh today. Yeah, Robute's got a lot of problems. Everyone finally asked a girl out. She said yes. Wish me luck, gentlemen. She's really awesome. I wish you luck, man. I thought it was just reading random stuff I never heard of. No, it's usually my stories. Only once have I read something that was not my work, and that was when I was asked to read Journey to the West, so I read that, but usually it is my own work. When are you going to finish Tomiki? I've got to finish making the edits to Act 3, and then I will finish it. How book accurate is Black Myth? Black Myth Wukong takes place after Journey to the West, so none of it's technically accurate. Can you wear your father's armor in this game? You can, but you got to get to that part. My favorite set of armor? In this game, I don't know. I honestly don't. So we got to be a little sneaky.
私を利用しましたな。
恐怖心を煽って尻尾を出させたがおかげで住処に向かっておるぞ。
こちらへ見られぬように。
Do I have a favorite section of this game? It's been so long since I've played, I do not remember. Probably, but I just don't remember. He's not being very sneaky. You Ghost of Yarikawa was your favorite mission? That is a good one, yeah. You're very excited for Yote? I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. I hope that all the rumors I've heard are false. I really do. Raven was taught stealth by Sly Cooper and Batman. Yeah, honestly. What rumors have you heard about the game? A lot of it having to do with the game pulling political BS. Hold on one second. Oh, I forgot to switch. Come on, man. Hit me. I want you to hit me. Dead. Dead. Anyway, I think it's just the actress. I'm more worried about the game, not the politics behind it. Well, the actress hasn't given me any hope. I really hope she's not. You can't really trust games nowadays. The devs don't care like they used to. In a lot of cases, yes. I really hope she's not a Mary Sue, but if she does end up being one, I hope she's an enjoyable Mary Sue. I just don't want her to be one. Speaking of stealth, which do you prefer, Raven, stealth or honor? It depends on the scenario, but stealth is pretty fun. I hear that, and I assume that it's just being overblown. I'm going to wait until the game is out before I make any judgment. Yeah, that's the wisest course. But I have seen her posts online, and it is very concerning. Like... That's interesting. He said Yamato, which is Japanese for stop or cease, but the subtitle said Masako. Like, why didn't they just say stop? How would I rate Jin's skill with Itachi or Katana? It's pretty solid. He seems to know what he's doing. Is it the same text for the English and Japanese dubs? Probably. Jin be like reverse grip has no place here. Yeah. Well, Lady Masako definitely has some problems. Raven, did you hear about behavior postponing their changes? They acknowledge that it's too punishing for killers, though they plan to rework it in the future. Honestly, there were some things that they decided to change that I thought were okay. Like, there are some things that really don't bother me too much that they decided to do. But a lot of other things I do not agree with. Like, if I'm being honest, there were just a lot of decisions they made that I did not agree with. I'm glad that they decided to postpone. I talked about that a little on my X account, where I said that it's a good thing they decided to change it, but if I'm being honest, they couldn't have ignored all the hate their decision got. Who's my favorite character in Tsushima? Probably either Jin himself or his uncle. I think that his uncle is a really good guy. Really cool stuff, honestly. All right. All right, let's head back here and go to the armory. What did Behavior do? Behavior is doing a PTB where they are testing some new changes, particularly around anti-tunneling and slugging. And the decision they made around anti-tunneling was so outrageously one-sided and favoring survivors over killers that it literally made games almost impossible for killers to win. there was no excusing it, if I'm being honest. There was absolutely no way you could justify it. Alright, since we're near Lady Masako, let's go ahead and do her next mission.
Jin, こっちに来い。
I find it funny. In the Japanese, she just called him Jin, which is his first name. It's a very familiar way of speaking to him. But in the subtitle, it said Lord Sakai, which is the correct way she should address him. So in the Japanese, she's coming off as far more angry and distant by referring to him as his familiar term by saying Jin. She should be more respectful to his rank and say Lord Sakai, but instead she just says Jin in Japanese. The English dub is trying to make her sound more polite, which I think is funny. So would Japanese already have black powder weapons before the Mongol invasion? They would have knowledge of it, but would not have it in abundance. At least both survivors and killers agreed that it was overkill. Also, they're doing a collab with an anime from Netflix, Nyata the Living Cat. I don't know anything about that. Hey, what's up, Nina? But don't you think Jin doesn't care what he calls her? I know he doesn't. He doesn't care what she calls him, but I just think it's funny that the English and Japanese dub treat her differently. The Japanese dub is clearly making her more angry and resentful and bitter. The English dub is still trying to give her some degree of respect and politeness, and I just think it's funny the way that they approach that. I'm not saying Jin gives a crap what she calls him. I just think it's funny, that's all. Anyway. Hear me out on Masako? Okay. What do I think about the armors? I think they're good. I like them. Not quite accurate to the time, but... My yokai question. Were Kitsune both guardians and malicious killers towards humans? The Kitsune could run the gambit. Some Kitsune were benevolent and friendly and kind towards humans. In fact, there are stories of Kitsune marrying humans. Like taking on human form and just marrying humans. So that was a thing. But then there were stories of Kitsune who played dangerous pranks on humans and attacked humans. So Kitsune very much ran the gambit. They were very wise and very clever creatures, but they could be benevolent and malevolent. It really did depend. How many times have I played through this game? This will be the third time, but it's been a long time since I played it last.
それはお前の命よりも大事だ。届け損ねれば村長に殺されてしまうぞ。
サダオは家族思いだな。
へえ、ろくな一族ではないぞ。いとこは族だしな。二の村が不作になった時、騒乱が起きたことを覚えてるか。抗う村人を殺した族は
Gotta focus a little.
知ってる。サダオだ。
卑怯な。
お前も喋りすぎると賊に襲われるぞ。
Alright, we gotta talk to Masako. Oh, she moved up. My fault. Anyway. Raven, how hot is South Carolina right now? It's around 90. Alright, let's do this. What's up, bro? See what you got. No. Switch. I forgot to switch. What's up, lady? Anyway, see. Nicely done, Raven. Can you sword fight in real life? I have studied HEMA, and I know how to use a longsword, yes. Can I do a kill graded for this game? There aren't any real finishers that I can look at very well. Alright, later, Coco. Have a good one, man. Glad you came by. What about the Legend of Tamamo? I think Fate did her good. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the techniques that you see in this game are a little hard to believe. Later, Coco. Take care, man. Alright, let's collect the stuff in the area. Because we need everything we can get. Alright, we actually made some good progress. Let's check out this area. Have you found any of the gear from the Tales of Gosaku armor? Not yet. I literally only started this last stream. We haven't gotten super far. And I've been taking my time, too. I'm not trying to rush this. I'm just trying to have a good time. Like I said, I'm pretty worn out from a lot of stuff going on, and I just wanted to chill. Last night was a pretty heavy night. Had a long talk with a friend, and it was pretty heavy stuff, so I'm a bit worn down. And so I just wanted to chill out. I didn't want to sweat. I didn't want to stress. I'm just having a good time. Yellow bird, lead me the way, man. Lead me the way, but yellow bird. Where are you taking me, yellow bird? Where are we going? Ah, hot spring. Get that health leveled up. Anyway. You got a minute, it looks pretty cool. Yeah. Did you get the vid issue resolved, Raven, from your post? I mean, that's y'all's business. Like, here's the thing. 100%, I've done everything I can. But if my audience is having restricted mode on, they may not see all my work. So that's up to my audience to fix that issue. Would Tamamo be Pranker or Housewife Kitsune? I need to reread it again. I need to reread the legend again to be sure. Hope things improve. I've come to the conclusion that they won't. I just got to deal with them as they come. You know what I mean? I've determined that I am perpetually in a storm. I'm glad you do, Ian, but you're not my only fan. Some of my fans may not realize they even have it on. Which is why I sent out the post. Oh, I'm near a shrine, that's why. Tamamo? No, Tamamo isn't a legend I made. Tamamo is a kitsune. A yokai. It's a Japanese folklore. No, that's fine. Yes, Tamamo no Mai.
誰が相手だ。お前を殺せば名を残す。
Alright. We gotta find a way to get to the shrine entrance. Here, let's hop on my horse and look around. There's always an entrance to the shrine. Got that flower, good. We can find where the entrance is. Aha! There it is. We just follow the path of the Torii gates, and we'll get there. Alright. By the way, Raven, what made you want to play this in the first place, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, I don't mind you asking. I wanted to play this game because I love this game. It's really fun, and it deals in a piece of samurai history and combat that I really enjoy. It's probably the best Japanese Assassin's Creed style game I've ever played. In fact, it beats the crap out of most Assassin's Creed games I've played. Raven, would you want to live in this game? Sure. I'd love to. Yeah, it'd be cool. I love the beauty of Tsushima. It's absolutely gorgeous. You set me up in a nice, decent house with a family. Dude, I'm there. But my life is not one meant for peace. I was listening to what she had to say. Hold on, guys. Got a text. 1 second. Pausing game. It's from work. Okay. Done. Alright, where was I? I noticed that the Torii gates don't often have the distinctive look in red paint. Is there some significance to the red paint, or is it because it's cheap? There are 3 reasons for the red paint. There are 3 reasons. Number 1, red has heavy meaning in Shintoism, that it's supposed to ward off evil spirits. 2, because it's practical, red paint usually contains mercury, which... Oh dear. That sucked. Red paint contained mercury, which helped protect the wood from rot and insects. And also, it helped represent Amaterasu, which is all about the sun. And that is a heavy Shintoist deity. So there were 3 reasons why they were red. If you visit all the hot springs, the game rewards you with a bath towel as armor. That'd be kind of cool. This would be a beautiful place to have tea. I've seen Korean and Japanese folklore mix a little, because the folklore of East Asia often mixes. East Asian folklore often mixes with itself. They have a lot of similarities and a lot of intermixing. You notice that a lot. How am I today, Michael? Just worn out, man. Just worn out. Everything okay with work? No, but there's nothing I can do about it. I prefer to live in Okinawa. I want to live in the mountains. You're going to Mongolia? That'll be cool, Samuel. That'll be really cool. Is there also significance to the Torii Gate's design? I used to know. I forget now. I'll need to look it up later. I just remember why it's red. I would love to live quietly in a mountain somewhere. That would be ideal. I'd love to live quietly in a mountain somewhere. Alright, let's go to the estate and deal with this again. I know I'm taking my time, but that was my goal.
ジン来たか。
政子殿、裏切り者の所在は聞き出せましたか？
聞こうとしてもあの女メソメソと泣きよって。
Could a samurai marry mongrel women if they chose to? Depends on the time. Before the Toyotomi Hideyoshi edict that locked all samurai, that locked all social classes in place, samurai could marry whoever they felt like. And even after that, they technically could, but it wasn't smiled upon. Like, a samurai could marry who they wanted, but, you know, it wasn't usually a good look if you married someone below your station. Like, let's say that a samurai wanted to marry a prostitute. That was socially frowned upon. Like, no one would really go for that, and it would probably hurt your standing.
政子様に殺されてしまいます。目を見ればわかるのです。
お主の無事は受け合おう。手を貸してくれるなら。
知ってることはすべて話しました。
八郎が文の運び手ならば、どこかで貞夫と会うだろう。うかうかしておったら政子殿に先を越されるぞ。
どうかお助けください。
そのためには俺が二人を見つけねば。まずは隠れ家だ。心当たりは？
考えてみます。
忘れてはならぬぞ。貞夫は人を殺したのだ。すぐに戻る。
それで
隠れ家を思い出させておるところです。
何を見返りに？
歩きましょう。
声が届かぬ場所までな。
貞夫を助けるとヒナに話しました。
できぬ約束をしよって。
ヒナの信用を得たかったのです。
嘘をついたのだな。
救えるならば救いましょう。嘘ではない。
失敗したらどう弁明するのだ。
貞夫の罪は深く、政子殿の裁きに物申す気はないと。
館のあらゆるもの、家族が死んだ夜を思い出させる。
父の亡き後、私も里から離れました。家は少しの間で朽ちてしまいます。
これはもう我が家ではない。身内が殺された忌まわしき地。孫は人形を握ったまま。姉が巻いていた金色の。
This is a beautiful view.
冷たくなって私はもう誰も守れぬ。復讐に囚われた身では。
Why does this woman want to kill the girl and what for? So, you weren't here for it, Nina, but this woman's family was slaughtered, and that girl's husband has information about it. He was involved in it, so she's trying to get information out of her. Uh-oh.
ヒナ、
死角を捉えるぞ。急げ。
辺りを調べよう。足跡があるはず。こっ
Footsteps.
ちだ。
Got to keep an eye on those footsteps. Yep, there they go.
なぜヒナが狙われた？
サダオから遠ざけるためであろう。
すべて筒抜けであったか。
我が館に向かう道中
I think we went off the trail. Hold on. There it is.
あえて見せたのでは。おとりに使ったのですね。
でサダオが来ると踏んだのだ。
その挙句にヒナが死にました。
殺したのは裏切り者だぞ。
仕向けたのはあなたです。
Hold on. Right. Gotta be careful here. There it is. There's the trail. Wait. Could you sneak around in samurai armor? You could.
足跡は一人分。死角は一人で乗り込んだのか。ヒナが死んだ今、生け捕りにせねば。そちらの精鋭を出せ。
Okay. Mongol. Yep. I'm pretty good at guessing when they're faking me out. Because there are a few signs you can look for. What's up, Aaron?
なぜヒナを殺した？
逃がそうとしたんだ。だけど兄さんのために固くなに動こうとせず、そしたら叫ばれて、だから仕方なく。
サダオはどこだ？
悪いが兄さんを裏切るつもりはない。
死んではならぬ。あやつの居所を吐け。
政子殿。ヒナは無駄死にでした。
犯人は我が一族を皆殺しにしたものだ。諦めてなるものか。
八郎は文を届けていた。もしかすると
何かあったか。
Yay.
補給路の地図です。
I feel like the armor's vibrant colors would give you away. Yeah, but that's why you didn't typically sneak in it. I'm not saying it was a good idea to sneak in samurai armor, I'm just saying you could do it. There's always that limitation. Someone's blinded by revenge? Yep. Yep, that's pretty much what it is. Lady Masako is pretty much obsessed with it. And we got to keep her on the straight and narrow if we can. Hello, cricket. Alright. Now let's check the map. Man, Masako moves around this spot very frequently. Let's go here next. And then we can try to take that Mongol territory and really open up this map. Come here, horsey. Let's ride. Jump. Oh, I'll fight you. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. There's always the towel. Oh, I didn't even see you, bro. Alright. Alright, let's level up a little bit. Let's see. I think we'll give ourselves this. We need stone puncture. It's going to come in handy later. All right. All right, come here, horsey. We still got places to go. Rock on. Can you understand her reason, though? Yeah, I mean, I understand her reason. Revenge is always understandable, I feel like, but that doesn't justify it. What the heck? Well, that was unfortunate. Alright, come here. Oh, that's a bear. Well, that worked. Some good old-fashioned kunai. Come get me, boys. This won't end well for you, but you're free to try. Oh, you're still alive. If any of you are carrying arrows, I'd like those, please. Got you, bro.
生き残ったお侍がいるという話、嘘ではなかったのですね。
Isn't more typical when someone wants revenge, they usually don't often go well for the person who wants to take revenge, but let's hope she won't fall into it. Those who become upset... Here's the thing. True justice is an eye for an eye. That's genuinely true justice. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But we are taught in Christianity, as well as most Western philosophy, that mercy is a much more better virtue. Showing mercy to those who don't deserve it is a virtue we should all strive for. But the fact and the reason for this is that quite often we as humans don't seek justice, we seek revenge, and they're not the same thing. That's why the Bible says vengeance belongs to the Lord. The main villain is he based on the real Han? No. The thing is, Raven, there are those who have done things that are unforgivable that may not deserve mercy. And whose decision is that? Who gets to decide who gets to decide where mercy is shown and where it's not? Who gets to decide which things are unforgivable? Who's the arbiter? That's a question you need to be very careful about answering. Another fox den. I got an answer for that, but I feel like I know what you're going to say, so not going to answer. If you know what I'm going to say, then that should already be an answer. Got that done. Another one down. All right, now let's try to take that place. I think it's time. I think we're strong enough to take it. And once we take it, it'll open up a lot more of the map. Jonah thought that Nineveh shouldn't be saved, but God gave them a second chance after they repented. Here's the reality, and this is what I'll say on the matter. I understand the desire for justice, for revenge, for all that. I get it. There are times where people hurt me and I want to get payback. I understand that desire. But the reality is, we as humans often tend to take these things to a destructive place, to a place that are very harmful for us. It's why the Bible says vengeance belongs to the Lord. Not because God doesn't understand our pain, but because we are not at a maturity level for us to be able to handle it correctly. It's for our own sake as well as others. But the fact is that if we start deciding who gets forgiveness and who doesn't, well, then who gets to decide who forgives us? What happens when we screw up? What happens when we make mistakes? Because here's the reality. We like to think, oh, we wouldn't hurt people. We wouldn't hurt other people, you know. We wouldn't do that. And then we turn right around and do it, you know. It's why in the parable Jesus says, how can God forgive you if you refuse to forgive others? I understand the desire for justice and for vengeance. I get it. It's 100% relatable. But we are not mature enough to handle it properly. Because the fact is, vengeance doesn't help. That's the thing that, and I know a lot of people don't believe it, but genuinely, vengeance doesn't help. I got some arrows, good. It's much harder to forgive someone, but easier to take payback. Yeah, no, it's true. Forgiving is hard. Oh, God, forgiving is very hard. It's not easy. It is not easy to forgive. It's one of the hardest things you can do because it means that you have to give up and accept some degree of humility, which people don't want to do. People see it as weakness. I was going to say you succeed in getting your revenge, then what then? Yeah, it's true. You get your revenge. Let's say that you get your revenge, you pay back the other guy. Awesome, great. Do you feel better? Is your life better? Do you bring back the people you lost, or do you undo the wrong you suffered? No, you still suffered. And quite often, this is gonna sound awful, but it's true. Quite often, when you take vengeance into your own hands, people look at you lesser. They may understand why you did what you did, but quite often they're gonna look at you as just as big a monster as the people you hurt. I know that some people don't like it when I get spiritual or I talk about my faith. And I get it. I understand. It's not something I actively always try to do. But when I'm asked philosophical or spiritual questions like that, don't be surprised when my stance aligns with my beliefs. And believe me, it's not always easy for me to do. Collect as much as I can. Yeah, that's exactly right, Ranger. If it were just pure justice, then that's one thing, but how do we know when to stop? I think a good example of this is in, like, Skyrim. You know, if you do the Companion's Quest in Skyrim, Skjor dies, or one of the Companions dies at the hands of the Silverhand, right? And so you get revenge by wiping out a whole Silverhand base. But then you don't stop there. You go and you attack them somewhere else. You go and beat them up somewhere else. You go and attack them somewhere else. And then Carlac Whitemane straight up says, this desire for blood has gone too far. You know? How did I do that? That was crazy. Well, yeah, but... Are you the only one left, buddy? There we go. Let's get the last of the stuff. Gotta find the black powder cache. Wherever it is. Oh, there it is. There it is. Found it. Found it. Let's not be near that. What's up, dude? Okay. He does a double attack, got it. Got it. Got him. All right, got it. Hope you enjoy the game. I'm on Act 2, just doing side quests. And where are they saying pride before the fall come from? I think it's biblical, but I can't remember exactly. We did it. All right. Yep, that cleared out some space. Beautiful. We can upgrade the sword eventually. I want to go here though and get this. I also want to get Komatsu Forge. We also need to go down here at some point and get started on the Broken Blacksmith. And Blood on the Grass, we'll need that too. So we might start making our way south to get that. But first, let's start here. We'll fast travel here. No, I want to fast travel. Fast travel currently disabled. Why? My guess is not really. Alright, what's this trader going to offer me? Sure.
お使いください。目が利きますね。素材が足りないようですね。お気に召すか。では。
Alright. First things first, we're going to change up my gear. And we'll fast travel. Alright. So Raven, why do you say the Blood Ravens are like strawberry flavored Ultramarines? Because a lot of them are very similar to Ultramarines, just with a little bit more spice. When you look at the Ultramarines, you mostly just see the standard basic Marines, and that's kind of what the Blood Angels are. I mean, what about the thirst? Yeah, that's the spice. Like I said, I think that they are a lot like the Ultramarines, but with just a little bit of spice to them. Not saying they're bad. I'm just saying there's not a lot to them. You got the thirst and you got the black rage. What else? Like, genuinely, what else can you say about a about a Blood Angel that you couldn't say about an Ultramarine without bringing up those two things? I'm not trying to diss on them. I like them, but that's why I understand why there are some people who are not appealed by it. They like stealing everything not bolted down. That's the Blood Ravens, not the Blood Angels. Two different things. I understand the confusion, but they are not the same. Blood Angels are the sons of Sanguinius. Blood Ravens are a different chapter altogether. They are very much kleptomaniacs. Hey, it's my birdie buddy. Where are you taking me today, Mr. Birdie Buddy? Hey, it's a legend dude. Singing among the corpses. That's always fun, man. I don't think the Blood Angels are married to the Ultramarines, mainly because they completely get their ass kicked by the Nids while the Ultramarines get beat back the Death Guard. No, I agree. They're not nearly as bad in terms of Mary Sue's status. They're definitely not as bad. But there's not a lot I can say truly unique about their chapter outside of the Blood Rage and the Black Rage and the Red Thirst. Which, don't get me wrong, are interesting things, but I mean, I'd like more. Like my brother said it best, Sanguinius himself is kind of boring. Dante is way cooler. But Dante alone does not a chapter make, you know what I mean? Alright, Nina, have a good night. I'm probably gonna call it pretty soon too. I never said the Blood Angels were Mary Sue's.
重則刀を持って余人に遅れを取らず編み出したる秘剣を試練一戦と称す人の眼にて見ることあたわざる技なり重則は村の獣を釣り出して小松ヶ浜へ誘いたり砂が捕らえる獣足獣二人と渡り合い稲妻に砂は灰となり木は炭となるここぞとばかり重則は試練一戦投げ切りで最後の獣が発るほど雨雲去りて空は晴れ対馬は事の中にけりその後重則隠れすみていで会う者もまれなり類いなき勇と腕とを示しし者のみに試練一戦の奥義を伝う大風来たる時刀を重則のいおりに捧ぐありどころを知る弟子のまた獣退けんとの思いなればなり
犯人の狙いは重則の技の会得そやつに渡すわけにはいかぬどっちへ行った
女が橋の方へ逃げるとそやつも
始末をつけさせねば
Alright. Everyone, would you like me to recommend anything for you to respond to, or are you busy? You can send me something you want me to respond to. Looks like we picked up the Heavenly Strike mission.
どこだ
お侍様みんな殺されちゃって
犯人を見たのか
知り人でした古賀康平
聞いた名だ槍川家の老頭だな顔はわかるか
忘れたくて忘れられません
ついてこい橋の向こうに足跡があるはずだ狐の後急いで逃げたのか古賀について他に知っておるか
幾年も前に槍川家に仕えていたことしか
槍川家は反乱の後離散し家臣も追放されたはずだ
古賀は対馬を離れ蒙古襲来の折に戻ったのかその後のことは は分かりません。
いずれにせよあのような所業は許さぬ。
It's not so much an anime ability as it is just a classic EI slash. It's cool, but it's not entirely fictitious. Just the legend around it is.
猛虎だ、隠れろ。俺はここだ。
I tried. Whoop. Let's get rid of the archer first. There we go. Hey, Atla.
さっきまで櫓におりました。
まさか猛虎と。
はい。
You know, I forgot just how good this game was, and it reminds me of how much we lost with Assassin's Creed. Yep.
聞き取れました。
櫓を調べる。新手が来る前に身を隠すがよい。は何をしておった。白い葉、稲妻で色が抜けたかのようだ。重則の話は猛虎にも伝わっておる。
Is it possible for AC to go back to what it used to be, or has that ship sailed? My honest opinion, I think they can. I think they certainly can go back to what they were. Do I think they will? No. I don't think they will.
いずこかで試練一戦を伝授されるつもりだ。
この近くに白い葉をつける木があります。
そこが行き先。助かったぞ。安全な場所へ逃げろ。
承知しました。あの獣を倒してください。
白い葉の木を見つけねば。
Oh. Hello, bird. Lead on, birdie. The hut. Bird's gone. Where'd the birdie go? Oh, there's the sound of the bird again. Oh, there you are. Lead on, birdie. Where are we going? I'll probably find where this bird's leading me and then call it a night. We'll pick up later. Ah, another hot spring. Could always go with one of those.
誰かと浸かりたいものだ。のぼせたかな。
No, they won't really stop with AC. It's one of the only things Ubisoft has left that they know will make them money. Not a lot anymore, but money. There are many times I wish I could go back in time and live in this era. Or live like I'm from this era, anyway. There we go. Got the shrine. I'm still convinced AAA studios can make a comeback with their games. It's just going to take a lot of voting with their wallets. Yeah, no kidding. It'll take some doing, that's for sure. Gotta look for white leaf trees. Up, there they are. Top over to this side, that'll help. Wee. Alright, getting down there is going to be a booger. Yeah, you know, let's just get this thing. We'll get this thing and then I'll call it. Let's go, horse. Yo, what's up, bird? Where you going? Where you leading me? Where we going? Not another foxhole, truly. Oh, the Pillar of Honor. Okay. Yeah, alright, we can do this. Nice. Very cool. Okay, now, back to where we were. Wait, Kashini haiku? There's a haiku? Well, I'll be damned. Let's go do it. Reflect on fear. Okay. Secrets buried deep. Darkness grows and reaches out. Cloaked in death's armor. Very cool. All right. Right. All right, later, Connor. Nice try. Nice try. Oh, just missed him. Oh. That's one way to take care of things.
祖父から試練一戦を授かるため連れ去りました。
祖父の命が危ない。行き先は？
祖父の稽古場小松の海岸にあります。どうか祖父を。
Alright, we gotta go save the granddad, and then we'll get the Heavenly Strike.
古賀に会得させるわけにはいかぬ。
Oh, I heard that in October we're getting the next season of Ranma 1/2. I'm super excited. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see how they handle it. They've been doing really well so far with it, at least the Japanese dub has. The English dub, nah, I don't trust them anymore. That's for sure, I don't trust them anymore. I didn't have a lot of trust in them to begin with, but they really ruined it for me. They really ruined it. Once I heard one of their, like, translations, it was like, God. God, it was such a disgusting... It was wrong because they knew what they were doing, and when I listened to the Japanese and translated it, I was like, dude, you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing. What was it? Oh, I guess I haven't talked about this. So, Ranma 1/2 got a reboot, and it's really good. The animation is awesome. And even some of the original Japanese voice actors came back to reprise their roles, which is really cool. The problem is that the English voice cast, for the most part, they do okay. Like, most of it is fine. I don't have an issue with a lot of what they do. But there are a few moments specifically where I'm like, oh my gosh, did you really do that? So I'll give you an example. Like, this is one of my favorite examples because, oh, I didn't even notice you, dude. There you go. So I'll give you an example. So I gotta pause to tell you this because it's so funny. So there's a scene, and if you don't know what Ranma 1/2 is, Ranma 1/2 is a very old anime. If you've ever heard of Inuyasha, it was made by the same mangaka, the same author. And basically the story is, you got this kid named Ranma. He's a martial artist who's traveled to China to learn, but while he was in China with his dad, he falls into a spring that curses him. Every time he's splashed with cold water, he turns into a girl. Warm water turns him back, and he's trying to keep that secret. Well, when he gets back to Japan, he comes across one of his old rivals, Ryoga Hibiki, and Ryoga is trying to challenge him to a duel, and they're fighting, but Ranma's not taking it too seriously. It's not a big deal to him, because he knows that he's stronger than Ryoga, and he could kick his ass. But while they're fighting, Ryoga makes a jab at his chest. Ranma dodges, but it rips his shirt. And Ranma goes, hey, bro, you didn't have to rip my favorite shirt, man. Again, not taking it seriously. Now, in the original Japanese, Ryoga says, like, what are you doing talking about girly stuff in the middle of a fight? That's essentially what he says. Ranma then gets angry, triggered, if you will, because, again, he turns into a girl with cold water and he hates it. And so when he says, I don't want to hear you talking about girly stuff, he goes, who are you calling girly? Who the heck are you calling girly? You take that back. And now Ranma's pissed and he starts fighting for real because he's mad now. He's really angry. Like, who are you calling girly? Who are you calling a girl? I'm not a girl. Like, he gets very upset. The English dub for the remake ruined it. Because what happens is Ryoga says, you shouldn't be talking about girly things in the middle of a fight, which is pretty close to the original. But then Ranma says, who says liking clothes is girly? And I just rolled my eyes. I was like, really? Really? Who says liking clothes is girly? Like that's the issue? It's not that Ranma likes clothes, it's the fact that he was called girly, and Ranma takes his manhood very seriously. Ranma hates his curse. He takes his manhood seriously. He doesn't want to be considered a girl. When Ryoga calls him girly, it's not about the clothes, it's about the insult, and Ranma loses his shit over it. But because they don't want to sound un-PC, because they don't want to talk about gender issues in this, they change it to, well, who says liking clothes is girly? And I'm like, oh, it's so bad. I was so mad at that point. I was like, are you serious? And that just made me wonder, what else are you mistranslating? What else are you trying to dodge? What else are you trying to avoid? And there were other small moments in the anime where I saw moments where I'm like, that translation doesn't quite work. That translation is a little off, just a little, just a tad, just a smidge off. But that was the big one. That was the big one where I was like, are you for real? Are you like, why couldn't you just keep it the way it was, you know? The way it was perfect. It matched Ranma's character. Ranma, like, here's the thing. Believe it or not, I know a lot of people like to say Ranma's a trans character or he's trans representation. He's not. He's not. Ranma is cursed, and he hates the curse. In fact, there are several small plot points in the story where Ranma is trying to undo his curse. He hates what his curse is. So people who call him girly or call out his manhood, he takes very seriously. The fact that they had to adjust that line not only flies in the face of Ranma's character, but it betrays a lot of other aspects to Ranma. And so it really irked me to see them do that. I was like, yeah. So now I don't trust the English voice cast. They're good voice actors. They do fine. Like, they definitely match the characters okay. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't trust you. I can't trust you now. All right. Yes, exactly. That's exactly right, Jake. That is exactly right. You hit it on the head. Whoa. Alright, we're gonna try that again. Whoa! Lightning got him. All right, later, Samuel. Well, the funny thing is, Ranma 1/2 is such a good anime. It's one of the first anime I saw when I was growing up. Not the first, but one of the first. And I honestly look back on it now and I realize you couldn't release Ranma as it was nowadays because too many people would try to turn it into something it's not. Just as people today are trying to turn it into something it's not. It's really sad.
対馬を守るためにのみ試練一戦を使うとお主に誓おう。
All right, now we have the Heavenly Strike. Let's go. And we got 3 new techniques. Nice. We can spin them, and then we can call it a night. How about that, guys? But yeah, it's really silly to me. A lot of it is really silly to me. All right, we got 3 points to spend. Let's see. Let's go with this. And deflect arrows. We definitely want that. Let's also get this. And that should be good for now. Let's check the map. We'll want to check that out before we go, but that's going to be where we call it. I'm pretty tired, and it is getting close to bedtime for us, so, but reading over chat. Yeah, my whole stance on it is this. Here's my whole stance on it. The whole gender PC thing. Here's the reality. I do not care personally what a certain person wants to identify as. That's not my business. It is their business. I don't care. The problem I see is when you try to force it without reason. So, for example, Ranma 1/2. It's already existed for years. It's decades old at this point. It is decades old at this point. Okay? Like almost 40 years old, I think. Why are you changing it to suit people's interests? Do you think people will be offended? If people are offended by it, then they should. Then honestly, there's nothing you can do about that. You should honor and respect what came before. And as for new things now, if you want to add it, fine, but don't make it all they are. Like I can think of plenty of LGBT or trans or gay characters that I'm totally fine with because their whole character is not their sexuality or their identity. And this goes with everything, you know. Like for example, I'm a white male Christian conservative. Not every character I like is white, male, Christian, and conservative. In fact, some characters I like don't meet any of those criteria. You know? Because I don't need everything to meet my standards or be like me. I've never understood this idea of, you know, everything has to look like me, act like me, smell like me. I need to see myself represented. I don't need to see myself represented. Because part of telling a good story is letting yourself step out of who you are, exploring the world and stories through a different perspective. You know? Like, I can watch Cinderella, Mulan, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, all these Disney princess movies and enjoy them, but I'm not a Disney princess. I'm not a woman. I'm not any of these things. I can still enjoy these characters. Why? Because I enjoy understanding and following these characters on their journeys. I don't need them to look or sound or act like me. And it's the same here. Jin Sakai, I'm not a Japanese samurai. You know, but I can still appreciate his story. I can still enjoy his character and his journey. I don't need to look like him. This whole idea of Everyone, you need to see yourself represented. Why? Who needs to see themselves represented? If you're so thin-skinned, you have to see yourself to enjoy something, then you have a bigger problem than representation. You have an ego issue. You have a narcissism issue. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's a narcissism issue. If you want to see yourself represented by a mirror, you will see yourself in the mirror. But when you go to see a movie, when you read a book, when you play a video game, when you watch a TV show, you are not watching yourself. You know, I've had to play roles when I was acting, when I was in plays, I had to play roles that were not like me. I had to play roles that were not me. Were they always fun? No, I didn't always enjoy it. But it's something I had to do. So this mentality of you need to see yourself represented. We need proper representation. Here's the thing. If the representation makes sense, go for it. Like if I'm telling a story in Africa, I would expect the characters to be African. If I'm telling a story in Japan, I would expect the characters to be Japanese. If I'm telling a story in New York City, I would expect the characters to be a hodgepodge and a mix of various people. But the idea that we need to insert some representation for other people, no. You don't need to. What you need to do is tell a good story. And I'll tell you why, too. Watch this. Because if I insert people just for representation purposes, but I've told a bad story, then all I've done is prove that these people who I've tried to represent don't get to be in a good story. That's insulting. Like all the people who celebrated Yasuke being in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yay, we've got our black representation in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Congratulations. It's a shit game with a shit story. You got your representation in shit. How does that make you feel? So I never understood it. It doesn't make any practical or logical sense. The kind of people who need to see themselves represented are the kind of people who were never told no as children. Or the kind of people who were told, you're special just the way you are. You're so perfect and wonderful, you wonderful little snowflake. And they never grew up and realized they're not the center of the frickin' universe. Part of being an adult is being humble enough to recognize that the world doesn't revolve around you. Part of being an adult, part of growing up is recognizing you're not the hero of everyone else's story. Sometimes you get to be the hero. Sometimes, yes. But that does not mean you are the hero of everyone else's story. Sometimes you're the support character. Sometimes you're the friend. Sometimes you're the villain. You're not the hero every time. And that's okay. Everyone is someone to somebody, but you are not always the hero. And the desire to always be the hero, the desire to always be the center of attention, is a childish notion. Am I saying that everyone like that is a child? No. Scary enough, a lot of them are not children. They're adults, but they behave like children. Am I saying that every leftist, black person, LGBT person, or what have you is this way? No. Plenty of them are perfectly fine. A lot of them are perfectly fine, I'm sure. But it is not those people I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who demand to be the center of everyone else's worldview. For example, I've been seeing this pop up on Twitter a lot. A lot of people saying, you know, the original Japanese people were black, right? And I said, no, that is not true. There is positively no evidence for that. So why do you say it? Because we have to see ourselves represented everywhere. We have to acknowledge that we are in everyone's history. Because our history is the world's history. You know what I say to that? You have history. Very proud heritage. A history that deserves to be studied and appreciated. By trying to insert yourselves into the history of others, you make a lot of people resentful of you. One of the reasons I like playing history games like this or For Honor is because I love studying history that is not all my own. I'm not Japanese, I'm not Chinese, I'm not Nordic. I have European roots, but I've never been to Europe. I'm not Hispanic. I'm not a pirate. I'm not Egyptian. I'm not African. I am an American, white, male, conservative, straight Christian. And to be perfectly honest, you don't see that specific combination very often anymore. That's a combination you don't see often anymore. Do I regret it? No. I mean, would I like to see more Christian white male characters in media? Sure, that'd be cool. I don't demand it. I don't demand it. I like it, but I don't demand it. And I don't get offended when I don't see it. Then there's that whole issue with that one guy, that voice actor, I forget his name. He was this kind of chubbier Asian voice actor. He was famous for a lot of stuff for doing a lot of stuff like sketches and anime stuff. He apparently got into hot water because he said that he wanted to see more culturally appropriate casting in voice acting, where basically you have to look like the character you're playing. If you're playing an Asian character, you have to look Asian. If you're playing a white character, you have to look white. If you're playing a black character, you have to look black. That's all there is to it. And I disagree with that, especially in the world of voice acting. It should not be about the appearance. It should be about the voice. That is what I genuinely believe. People like that annoy me. People like that annoy me. And the problem is you see way too much of it. Yeah. But anyway, that's enough rambling on that topic. It is now 9:36 where I am, and I got to get ready for bed soon. But yeah. What was that? I was more referring to history. To my mind, if you want to add a diversity or whatever in the 21st century, be my guest, but not the 15th, at least to me. Well, yeah. Diversity, even in history, existed, you know. Diversity of social class, diversity of wealth, diversity of interest. Like, take Japan, for example. You had men and women, you had children and adults, you had samurai and peasants, you had nobles, you had fishermen. There's your diversity. Telling the story of a simple fisherman may look very different from telling the story of a samurai. Telling the story of a woman in Japan may look very different than telling the story of a man in Japan. Telling the story of a child in Japan may look very different than telling an adult story in Japan. There is your diversity. Anyway. That'll do it for me. Thank you guys so much. I will, tomorrow is Monday, so we'll be doing the reading stream. Would love to have you all there. We're reading some more Monster Club, and I look forward to it. See you in that stream, guys.